Hey folks, Nindo here. Today we're having a quick discussion on ways to make surviving the early game a whole lot easier in DayZ. I often hear new players that are excited to buy the game, install it, then hop in the server and can't find food, starve to death, and then uninstall the game in frustration. Let's try to change that by showing you how I start my runs. Now I'm going to toss a fair amount of information at you, but once you master each step, you can typically complete all these steps in about 15 minutes or less and be out of the starter zone fully prepared for the road ahead. The goal is to eventually be able to speed run the starter zone. If you ever want to see how I start my adventures live, follow me on Twitch by clicking the link below. When I first spawn in, naturally I check a few houses nearby for cans of food or water bottles, but there's a time balance here. If you're having no luck with cans of food, don't waste all your time checking every single house. Stop by the water pump and drink till you get the full stomach icon. My main goal early on is to find a knife, commonly found in kitchens of houses and on tables, then pick up any other tools with sharp edges or even screwdrivers. This will come in handy soon. In addition to checking houses, some buildings I hit every time are medical buildings in search of tetra, bandages, and other medical items. General stores can be a good source of a variety of items, even containing weapons and ammo. Police stations in spawn towns can have weapons, but typically are picked clean. The big ticket item here is if you can find a police zombie with a stab vest on. Aim for the zombie's head so you do not damage the vest. This will offer you a good amount of protection to your chest and make your character's survivability go up considerably. There are a few crafts I try to make every life. First off, cut up some clothing into rags. I then combine the rags into improvised gloves and an improvised face mask. I also keep a few extra rags around in case I need to make a fire, or I can also use those rags as a backup bandage. Just keep in mind, unclean rags can give you an infection. You can clean your rags with alcohol. Next, we're going to need a backpack. If you don't find one in a house, it's common to find at least one zombie in the starter zone with a backpack on. Single out that zombie and steal its bag. After this, I keep an eye out for a burlap sack, often found in sheds. If I do find a burlap sack, I then make a rope by combining 12 rags, and grab 3 short sticks from a bush. Combine the burlap sack with a rope to make a courier bag, and then combine the courier bag with the 3 short sticks. And just like that, you have one of the best bags in the game, the improvised bag. It's got a decent amount of space, and it blends in well with the environment. I say this time and time again, listen for chickens in the starter zone. They can really set you up for a great run. I will often hear them clucking nearby, find them, and slay them for food and helpful tools. Don't underestimate how big this can be at the start of your run. Chickens are easy to chase down and punch out. You can use sharp edges like knives, saws, axes, and even tools like a screwdriver to skin the chicken. You'll then receive raw chicken and bones. Cooking and eating a chicken early on will be helpful to maintain a white food meter. You can then turn those bones into either a knife or a fishing hook. Go ahead and combine 2 bones to craft a knife, or you can also simply put the bone in your hand, walk up to a boulder, and then sharpen the bone against a boulder, and it will turn it into a knife. The same thing goes for a small stone. You can sharpen it against a boulder with a single stone. Knives are a necessary item in many of the crafts in DayZ, and you'll get a lot of use out of them during your run. If you ever do find yourself with bloody hands, you can wash them at a water pump, clean them with disinfectant such as alcohol, or avoid bloody hands altogether by crafting that improvised hand wraps I suggested earlier by combining 2 rags. Eating or drinking with bloody hands can make you sick. Now you're going to need to cook the chicken. Locate a house with a chimney and pick one that has a cooking rack inside. We are going to need bark and sticks. You can get bark from a nearby tree by using a knife against it. Then long sticks at a nearby bush, then break those down into short sticks. Next step is you're going to need to light it. If you're lucky, you already found matches, a lighter, a road flare, but I typically have to resort to making a simple hand drill kit. Combine 1 bark that we gathered earlier with 1 short stick. Boom, you now have a hand drill kit. Place your 1 bark in the fireplace and then your remaining short sticks in the fireplace as well. Light the fire in the fireplace and attach your chicken to the rack. The chicken will start to sizzle. Watch for it to change to a golden color, signifying that it has been cooked. Now you have a delicious snack, and you don't have to look through dozens of houses in hopes for a single can of food. This whole process might take a little while your first couple times doing it, but you get quicker and quicker at it, and it's really not that much of a chore to throw together a fireplace, put some chicken on it, eat, and then get going. Keep in mind that fires will also keep your character warm and dry. If you find your character is wet, either due to swimming in a pond or getting caught in a rainstorm, you'll want to dry your character. You can often get away with being wet sometimes, but it will make your character weigh more, and thus making it a little bit more sluggish. Being wet can also lead to your character becoming colder and catching a sickness such as the common cold, which will make you sneeze. Hanging out by a fireplace will rapidly dry your clothing, so keep that in mind as an option to get dry. You can also wring out your clothing by placing them in your hand and selecting wring, but that will only take your clothing to damp and it will not completely dry it. Always keep an eye out for a way to store water, such as a water bottle, canteen, cooking pot, or even a gas canister. If you find a container with water already inside, there are 2 approaches you can take to clean it, as dirty water has a chance to make you sick. You can either clean the water by boiling it with a cooking pot, or clean the water with a water purification tablet. Often, the easiest choice is to simply dump the water out and then fill it up with clean water at a nearby water pump. So if all has gone to plan, you'll at least have improvised gloves, a face mask, and a backpack. You'll be extra prepared if you get lucky and find a stab vest for protection, medication such as Tetra, and a water bottle. Your water should be in the white from drinking to full at the pump. The cooked chicken breast will put you in the white on your food meter. The more you do this, the faster it gets. Making a fire often feels like the longest part of the process, but if you learn to speedrun it, fires can be made, lit, and used to cook fast. Then, depending on your random luck in the spawn town, you'll have some helpful tools and maybe even a weapon. Time to head inland and begin your adventure. Blast the video on the left and take your game knowledge to the next level. Subscribe to the channel and snipe the like button. Follow me on Twitch to catch me live by clicking the link below. Thank you and have an awesome day. Peace.